To my brothers and sisters in Biafra, you must know there is so much work going on in the United States of America and around the world with literally, of the people I know, hundreds of people, just myself, reaching out to my fellow parishioner in my home church of St. Gertrude, J.D. Vance, the vice president, to all the many hundreds of people reaching out to so many people. You must know this $9 million that has been wasted on lobbying efforts in D.C. is going to be worthless because it's not having an effect. The word has gotten out. People know that Mazi is innocent. People know about the abhorrent genocidal type efforts that are happening to you in Biafra. And I promise you, good things are happening and about to unfold. Evans?
Well, my brother, I tell you, they may have the money, but we've got the truth. And truth will trump money every day. What's happening to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is atrocious, and there is no amount of money, there's no amount of lobbying that is going to hide the truth. We are working feverishly every day, walking the halls of the Congress, making sure that every lie they tell is counteracted by the truth. And the people are listening because the truth is usually clear. If you can't believe someone because they've told you a lie, how can you believe anything else that comes out of them? Remember, this whole idea of Christian genocide was something that is non-existent. This current government covered it up. 3 weeks ago, they covered it up. 2 months ago, they're lying about it. If they lie about that, they're lying about everything else. You cannot believe whatever you've heard regarding this innocent man languishing in jail. He needs to be out. He doesn't belong there. And the truth, and only that, will set all of us free, including Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself. We will not relent. We will not relent. We will not relent. Whatever it takes.
And no, the proof, you saw the proof in both the truth sent out by the President of the United States and what happened on December 25th. And people all over America. Just an hour ago, I held hands with friends down the street and we prayed. And you continue to pray as well, because with prayer and the truth, nothing will stop justice from being done.
Amen.
And then you have a situation like in Nigeria, where more Christians have been killed there than anywhere else in the world. And you have a government in Nigeria that practices denial, a culture of denial. No, nothing to see here. They even hired DCI, a big firm here in D.C.
The First Lady was here. She was here this week,
yeah.
And in fact, they wanted to come on the program to talk about religious freedom. And I said, I'm not going to give them. I'm happy to meet with anybody.
Same here.
But I'm not going to give them a platform to cover up what they're doing in Nigeria.
And that's just what it is, a massive cover-up. You know, I met with a big delegation that came in, and it went for almost 2 hours. And the Attorney General of Nigeria said that this Bishop Anabe, who I had at 2 of my hearings, you were there.
He testified right next to me.
Right next to you. A wonderful man. He said, he's a liar. And I said, whoa, stop that, you know. And then they always do the thing, well, my wife's a Christian, or I'm a Christian, or my husband. You know, it's like, don't tell me that. What is happening as churches are being firebombed, people are being killed in cold blood, you know, abductions, which is very, very big there in Nigeria, of Christians especially, but others, but especially Christians. And there's this assault on faith.
You know, they are warning Donald Trump. They said he should take down or, you know, try to not bring that motive of him trying to divide Nigeria. They were even lambasting Donald Trump. They said he should not. A lot of people are saying, can't the UK do without Nigeria? At the same time, Sultan of Sokoto and the Northern Elders are saying that Nigeria must live in peace, that Christian and Muslim can live as one. What is your take as regards UK?
Anybody that is dreaming that at this point in time, you know, it should be questioned thoroughly on what his mission is. You know, history has shown clearly that the cat and the rat cannot stay in one place, and that is what it means. They have a entirely different ideology from the rest of the other region who are seeking that this marriage collapse once and for all. Yes, the UK is trying. I've listened to Kestama and I've listened to so many MPs, members of the parliament in UK. I can see their outbursts, especially on the issue of Greenland and the rest of them. Most of them we are calling Trump's name and others, and the fear of them reducing their Commonwealth influence in the world is the reason why the UK seems to be telling Mr. Trump not to dare proclaim Biafra as a nation, or not to dare seek to divide Nigeria. But I believe that a lot of people are not going to buy into that, because what they are comparing it with Greenland and of course what happened in Venezuela, it's a different scenario completely. And for some time now, and I can tell you in honest truth, the UK government, or the UK, or the British government, or the Britain itself, including the Birmingham Palace, have been extremely silent over the killing of people, or killing that is going on in Nigeria. And people are asking, why is actually UK silent over this? It doesn't mean that the seemingly relationship or they used to hold between the North and the British government has actually collapsed, and possibly they have handed over everything to uncertainty that allowed that uncertainty creates an opening for US intervention. That what we are seeing now, but normally as a former colony, we expected that at every point in time we will be seeing a direct intervention by the British government and the UK, on issue bordering on killings for decades now. UK have never made any statement about that, not even to talk about Mazen Namdekan, who happens to be their citizen, until maybe UK now, US now came and recognized him as their honorary citizenship, as a citizen of United States of America. I think they have given that to Mazen Namdekan. It signals that there's a gradual withdrawal or disconnect between the UK and other. But majorly, why would UK be pushing in that direction, considering the fact that the unity have not actually worked? And secondly, their forefathers under Lord Lugard also proclaimed that after 100 years of this unfortunate existence, they can actually go their separate ways if they wish. But you can see that at every point in time, the UK government is for dragging. They don't want to come out plainly and take a particular position on the issue on Nigeria, in Nigeria. Now that the US seems to be playing in that direction, they seem to be sending a certain signal to them. That signal, I'm telling you, it's not about the UK interest per se, or to protect lives and property that have been lost over the years. Their major aim and target is how would they be able to lose, of course, the oil resources that is flowing from that axis. At the end of the day, they will be disconnected, and it might likely affect the UK economy in one way or the other. So they are looking at that, but that shouldn't be the reason why they should not come out and take a particular stand. Or possibly there might be a secret memo that they signed in the years past during the colonial era, before they handed over power to the Northerners, based on whatever thing they saw or agreed, that they cannot go contrary to that agreement. That is possibly why they are actually silent. But time and event has overtaken most of those things at this point in time. We are seeing nations showing interest. We are seeing Australia, Canada, and so many other countries queuing under US government to do the needful. And what is the needful? To look at it critically and find out that this thing has gotten to a point that something that needed to be done, and that the UK should not stand against it. And currently now, there's a big face-off between the UK and of course the US government, and we have seen Keir Starmer taking a particular stand during the World Economic Summit in Davos, where he make a categorical statement against Trump, and we have seen the congressmen, reacting to some of the statements credited, as you watch in this video, credited or direct attack, calling Donald Trump name because Donald Trump wished to protect, the interests of Americans by, negotiating the Green Island. As the world continue to move from the act of globalization to, will I say individualism or, or nationalism now, UK should understand that that era has come and actually gone. We are not in the era of globalization anymore. What we are looking at is American first, individualism, your interest first. And I think that gets into the UK, government very well. And if you look at Kemi Badnog, if I can be very correct in that pronunciation, please, I hope you pardon me in that regard. You will see very clearly that that woman understands the Nigerian factor and might be some of the elements that are actually pushing, some of the supporters there to continue to get the world attention in solidarity of what is happening in Nigeria, and of course, in solidarity of the number of killing and the reckless government under APC, as you can see till today.
But the lands of Sokoto, south of Sokoto, they are saying we can live as one. At the same time, do you not think? Why do you think that the UK are scared, or they are always interceding, or wanting Nigeria to live as one? Do you think they know that they cannot do without the oil in Nigeria? Most importantly, the oil in Biafra. I don't know why you think they don't want to, split Nigeria from Biafra.
I think for economic sabotage and easy penetration and stealing of resources. We watch the presence of the former UK Prime Minister here in Nigeria, Boris Johnson, when he appeared in Imo State. We saw the kind of statement that he made, very derogatory, but we're not going to take that. Now that the Northerners are
security in Nigeria.
Yes, unfortunately, that is not correct. And ever since that time he made that statement for now, I can tell you that, over 2,000 Christians has been murdered in cold blood. But the fact is that as it stands now, I do not know what the northern leaders mean by they are seeking peace in South and Southeast. I do not understand what they mean by that statement, because when they make such statements, one need to be very careful, because possibly they have succeeded in planting their radicals, political radicals in those regions that they will use at the end of the day. And now there's no what do they mean by peace? When they cannot come, all of them went against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Somebody who saw these things coming, they went against him. The APC government went against him. So what peace are they expecting to happen in the South and Southeast? I don't know what their mission and what they intend by making such pronouncement that they want peace in South and Southeast. I don't know. I do not know what that actually means at this point in time. But it is very clear that that unity they are talking about, them themselves know right in their heart, that unity cannot work and it will never work.
It will never work.
Yes, and very clearly, there's no need there, because they may think that election is coming, 2027 is coming. We do not know what is going to be the decision of the United States of America ahead of 2027. Whether actually, because it's likely there's a deep disconnect between Bola Ahmed Tinubu and of course and Trump, and of course the international community now. We don't know whether this thing, but they fear that they don't know. They want to maintain a certain stand on Christian ticket, and which is being supported. The UK is supporting it. Muslim ticket. At the end of the day, they are kicking against anything that has to do with Christian ticket. So it sent a lot of signal to whether Bola Ahmed Tinubu is likely going to come back to Aso Rock. That means a clear uncertainty as we are approaching the electioneering period at the end of the day. But that's the whether they like it or not, the things still remain that UK government at this point in time, cannot stand up and begin to kick against the balkanization. How would I put it? Disintegration of Nigeria, or the amalgamation of Nigeria. Yes, they cannot come out now because if they are seeing the handwriting wall that the way the whole thing is going, there's likely going to be separation in Nigeria. It happened to so many countries. So if it happened to Nigeria, I think it is a safe way to protect Christian lives in this part of the world.